Welcome to GoldBoys Live, presented by Pickett Sports Sleeper Picks. We've got a full day of baseball. We'll get into some of these NFL signings. A lot to do. Brad, Josh, and Brian, welcome to the show. All right, let's just quickly, before we get to the plays, let's explain how this works to Brian. He's been off for a month or so.
I knew this was gonna happen. I knew if I took a vacation, this would this would happen. Yeah, I know.
A vacation's a week. A vacation is not a month. I mean, a vacation's a week.
It was 7 days. It was Sunday to Sunday, and then yesterday.
Wow, what a great vacation!
Yeah,
I'm careful to bust balls too much because I'm off Friday and all next week, and then I'm back good to go for football.
I will say this. I started a new job yesterday in like the real world as well, and I say this.
Congratulations.
The time to do vacations, same as you just say, is right before football season. Am I wrong? That's like this August month before football starts is the perfect time, especially in this field of the sports world. You gotta take your vacations during, I guess you call them the dog days of the summer, because you can focus energy on other things for football season.
For sure.
One way to look at it.
Josh, I didn't have the Mariners last night, but I have Royals under season wins. I have Mariners futures to make the playoffs. What the hell was that last night? They rally back. They get our hopes up. They, after winning like 9 in a row, they've now lost 3. That was a tough one. How did everyone's night go last night?
My night went well. I only had what was that bet that we played together? Mets run the first inning.
Yes.
And then so I played Scherzer strikeouts, and then I didn't ladder. I said I don't want to get him have a bad outing. I just went all the way to 13.
Yeah,
I don't know what the hell.
Going just 13 is wild. Did you at least do the base like the 6.5 or 7.5? Okay.
7. I put a unit on 7.5, and then I put a unit on 6 with them to win. So I still made good money, but I couldn't believe like how dumb he got to 11. Like that was so stupid by me.
Yeah.
Why can't the Mets get pitchers like that?
Yeah. I was gonna say it was funny because we always talk about on the show finding ways to lose. I played the Mets Pirates first 5, which won, but I also played the over 9.5. And as soon as that first inning, when they called that walk a strikeout, and then the single scored 1 run instead of 2 in the group chat, I said this is gonna screw me somehow. Yeah. And then I missed the 9.5 by 1 run. So I swear. Every single time that happens, you just know, you just wait for how it's going to be funny later on to ruin it.
Well, not just that. I had Astros. I think you had Astros team total over. They were lighting up Garrett the first inning, line drive after line drive.
Yeah, they were. Oh, my God.
I think 11 left on base. I think, And they were 2 for 11 or 2 for 12 with running scoring position, but one of them was a single that didn't even score a run, so you can't even count it as 2. It was a frustrating game where they just kept getting men on and just not doing anything with it.
Frustrating. You knew right away we were in some trouble. How'd your night go, Josh, other than Seattle, which was just
that ate my lunch. Oh. That crushed me. Yeah, I had a lot on that. And when they came back, I hadn't been watching, obviously, and then they came back and I was just like, what? And then I was like, I'm gonna go to bed. I woke up.
That was your fault. Yeah, you gave yourself too much hope. Yeah,
with sacrifices. It was like 2 sacrifices to the outfield. I got them 2 runs in the bottom of the ninth for the Royals. Yeah, I got worked last night. And then Altuve gets on base 3 times. I had him to get to a run at like minus 180, and he's on base 3 times. He doesn't come around.
Including
I hated baseball yesterday.
First inning, he's on second with nobody out in the first inning. Yeah. Oh, by the way, chat people, feel free to send questions, comments. Christopher says a few more Sundays to NFL. Absolutely.
Yes, Christopher.
Kyle says, good afternoon, gentlemen. Welcome back. Brian, wow, he recognized you. He remembered you.
Wow, that's crazy. I didn't think people knew my work from 2021. I didn't know they knew I was still alive. But yeah, I was going to say, Josh, it's funny you mentioned that with the Mariners, because have you guys ever done this where I ended up playing the Astros angle over another angle I like, which was Gilbert 5 strikeouts and a win? He got 5 strikeouts, but they were down like 5 runs. And in my head, when they came back, my first thought was, why does this stuff never happen when I'm on that play, like these miracle wins? So I was a little happy that there was a heartbreaking loss at the end for the Mariners, because my own selfish reasons was thinking, dude, why do I never get lucky breaks like this? But then
so it's your fault.
Came crashing down.
Got it. Yeah.
Kyle saying, welcome back, Brian, reminds me of sometimes you see those videos on the internet where a guy will be off to war for a while and he'll come back and his dog still remembers him like 4 years later. That's what it reminds me of.
Kyle reminds me of the time I made a burner account on YouTube named Kyle Young, and then I say nice things to myself.
That could be it too. What do we got for today?
Oh my God.
What's wrong, Brad?
I'm so sick of Kai right now. Okay, I have an affinity for Kai. I have a relationship with one of my fellow cappers is a Kai supporter. He runs their social media page, but they keep beating really big teams. I faded them today, and they already got a VAR. They took the goal off the board. It's so frustrating. Sorry. Oh my God.
I like these 1:00 streams because Brad bets on the most obscure sports. So we'll be having a very rational and adult conversation, and you just see a tantrum in the left corner, like just flipping out for no reason.
Oh, I wouldn't call him necessarily rational all the time, but I'm gonna go back to baseball real quick because I like just transitioning from getting just hosed yesterday and losing money, a good amount of it. That's why today when I saw Zach Wheeler was pitching, I was like, I haven't lost a bet on Zach Wheeler in a while. Like this is the only thing I can feel safe about anymore. I was telling you guys about that already, that I took him over 17.5 outs versus the Blue Jays. And I also took him to get under 2 walks in this game, going back to my walkness, which I like to target sometimes. So yeah, like basically just Wheeler with all the units I lost yesterday, coming back on him to I don't know, outside of the outs and walks, I'm not really as concerned, but that's where I'm going.
I was glad to see you said that in the group chat because the only play I have in right now is I don't know if it's you always talk about trap lines and you don't want to believe them, but I don't know why Wheeler under 1.5 outs. I mean, under 1.5 walks is plus 105 when I locked it in, but I mean he's only walked 2 or more batters and twice in his last 18 starts. The Blue Jays, I mean, they're 8% walk rate against righties. They're bottom tier. They only have one guy that really concerns me, and that's Brandon Belt in terms of walk. They don't walk often. He has a 3.5% walk rate against righties. This lineup is all righties.
Yeah.
They played him earlier this year. He walked Belt in I think the second or first inning, and then he went 107 pitches without any more walks. So I mean, he threw 110 pitches almost with just the one walk. So I mean, this is what I'll die on this hill, but I'm surprised that this is not like minus 180 like it was last week.
Yeah.
We are like 10 minutes into the show. I'm surprised nobody has mentioned the Atlanta Braves against Luis Severino. How do we capitalize? What do we bet? I might even throw in some.
We have to play something on it, right?
I don't know. Team total, like Elder hasn't been good, so I'm afraid to lay the 1.5. Although I don't.
But he's been okay.
Some of the underlying stuff is really bad for him.
Wait, he's been so bad at finding the strike zone. They don't even offer walk props for him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna say it was at 10.5 is a steep total. Yeah, but I think the Braves total is 5.5. I believe it's juiced to like minus 135, minus 140. I don't know. What is there? I know Savvy's earned run is 3.5. So they definitely accounted for the fact that this is going to be a popular look and or a good look because they have definitely taken the lines to a more extreme as they should have.
It feels like the outs should be something we target then. Like 3.5 runs, we need them to get that in 3 innings.
I don't even think that's the thing that scares me is they're not even offering outs lines because I'm sorry, how long do you think Severino's going to go? I want to take, if I'm betting it, I want to take either like the first 5 or the team total. I don't trust the earned runs because not saying it happens, but what if he comes out there, pitches 2 innings, which might be enough for 4 runs, but still, like I don't know what to expect from his leash in this game.
I think we're all just surprised he's starting again.
Like, why? I agree. They asked. They straight up said, "Is he?" And he confidently said he is starting a baseball game tomorrow. And that's
no, yeah. I'm not saying that there's going to be any kind of like late shenanigans. It's just like I think the books are even like we weren't planning on capping this guy again.
Yeah. So I will say, looking at the if you are looking to play this, his earned runs is minus 110. The first 5 for the Braves is 3.5, but it's plus 105. I would lean that way because that way you get, I don't know if there's an avenue through the 6.
Yeah, how about that? How about just first 5 team total over 3.5? There's an even money out there. I mean, that's probably the best.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, plus 105.
That works for me.
For over 3.5. I think that's
no
Albies. Play it.
No Albies, but man, this lineup is just so deep, so relentless.
Yeah.
So I guess my thing to you. Where you go? I was gonna say, Will, to you, is there any other team in the league that if you have say 3.5 and they have 0 or 1 run after 4, you sweating, but at the same time, if I were to say, "Hey, you went to the bathroom," it's 7-0 now. Like you wouldn't even blink, like you wouldn't even bat an eye.
It's a good feeling backing them where it's like you're surprised if they don't get a run in an inning. You just and when the run like the offense comes, it's just avalanches. It's double, home, or single. It's just 4 or 5 runs at a time. So again, you get caught up in, hey, do I want to just back the team and not overthink it and lay the run in half because they'll probably bury the Yankees, or I just want to just play the team total over and again. I don't hate some of these guys. If you want to just throw in some of the homer props with Acuna and Olsen and some of these guys, like Elder should get hit. So I don't know if you want to throw Judge in there and just have a little fun with a few bucks and try to hit a lottery. I think it's probably.
I'll say this: you mentioned, some guys, some normal starters aren't playing, but when you have Michael Harris being able to move from 7 to 2 in the lineup, most teams don't have the luxury to have a guy like that just move up in the lineup and still just mash.
A couple of guys in the chat too. One question is about the Dre Bro's got a free $20 bet.
I was going to answer that. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to answer that if you wanted to play something that's worth your kind of like your while odds wise was Matt Olson home run. We got 10 mile per hour wind blowing out. His underlying numbers pretty good with 0.476 ISO power, 57% hard hit percentage, and not to mention that he's going to get Molde scored. Sorry. Not to mention that he's going to be able to get the ball, have high launch angle and exit velocity to get it carried out in that wind. So I think that's pretty solid.
Brad's smart. He's talking launch angles, temperature, dew point, wind. I know the football players don't go to school at Alabama, but man, Brad got a hell of an education there.
Yeah.
I went to a bunch of different universities. That's why.
That's fair. I know talking baseball angles, is there anything worse than liking a play then you kind of put it in the back of your head and you come back like 3 minutes later and the line's just kind of gone? Because I know Brad's going to talk about later about Graham Ashcraft's like his outs. I like his outs, but I was looking at his under 4.5 strikeouts. It was -110 on MGM, and I went to type it up and put it in the Discord. And by the time I even started a write-up for under 4.5 strikeouts, the best lineup was -140. And I just kind of had one of those things where -140, I don't know if you want to, still play it or have it as like a boosted play or something like that, but I just think it's a little too juicy for the line. I really was upset I missed the -110 or -120 on that.
Beetle Bailey says over 10.5 in Braves Yankees. That might be the way to go too. I worry about that Yankees offense, but hey, if I don't like Elder, I could certainly I wouldn't play an under. I'll put it that way.
The Pirates got to him you for Elder.
Yeah, you don't like Elder, Will?
I don't.
Yeah,
I don't.
I mean he's been getting shelled. Yeah,
but I don't like the Yankees offense either.
I mean the Braves starting pitching. I'm pretty sure they had the worst ERA and
it hasn't been great.
Break.
It hasn't been
great. Up 6-7 runs to the Pirates.
It almost doesn't matter if you're scoring 16 runs a game, though.
It doesn't matter. They have 60 now. They have 63 home runs since July 1st. The second place team is the Mariners with 44. Like they're a football team.
Another question in the chat. Wander Franco wants to know: should I open my own daycare? What do you guys think about
that? Kyle Young talking about the over. Yeah, that was good.
No reaction from anybody. Jeez, Brad got a little chuckle. I was like,
we got the.
I think none of us
anymore.
I think none of us want to get canceled.
Yeah,
I'm just reading the comments. I'm just asking what you guys think. I was just reading the comments. It got deleted quickly.
It got deleted quickly.
Yeah, it did.
Oh, okay. Nice.
I'm surprised he listens to the show. I mean, he's not playing right now, so he's got time on his hands. We appreciate him listening. So I wouldn't recommend him opening a daycare. I mean,
speaking of which, you can probably ride with Zach Littell tonight for the Rays. They're playing the Giants. Littell's been pretty good lately.
I wanted to hear you talk about. No, I was confused. So go ahead. I'm excited.
Yeah, Zach Littell, former Giant. He actually left in like a rage when he left San Francisco. He was like cursing at Kapler and a couple other guys. So I think his revenge factor tonight for the Rays, and he's been pitching well already, is pretty nice. If you want to take him, he's got some pretty low stats. I was looking at him last night. I already forgot what they are, but I basically take them on the money line too. The Rays here, the Giants are freaking reeling. They're starting Junis. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
What I was gonna say too is I did this last night. I'm gonna probably put a little bit more on it. I took Ray's money line and parlayed it with Roy McIlroy to win this week. Get you about 12 to 1300. I did it last night. I'm gonna do it again tonight. I just didn't know, I didn't know what I was gonna take in terms of like betting the game like on a straight. I didn't know when I watched Littell last game, I don't think he was that great. But he still gave us length. I say us, the Rays. Excuse me, I don't play on the team, but I'm glad to see that you're on them.
Hey man, you pay taxes out there.
Yeah, and I go to freaking games too. Hey.
Yeah, exactly.
Me and the 10 other people who go to Rays games, we are
There
part
you
owners.
go. You guys are on the team. Shit.
As we're talking best bets for the like the slate today, I'm not playing it until I see a lineup, but I wanted to get your thoughts on Kikuchi. Like
You can't say that on this show. Oh, you Kikuchi.
Oh
Gotcha.
yeah, if you can. So did you guys know that he has a 26.5% strikeout rate on the
He's
year?
been good.
He's been phenomenal, but his under 6.5 is so tempting to me in terms of the Phillies. As much as I hate them as a fan, he allows a lot of hard hit contact, and I think there's some avenue to fade him, whether it's outs, earned runs, or strikeouts. I just think he just does not match up well with a lot of these like right-handing bats. A lot of hard contact. I just don't know what way I want to fade it until I see a lineup, but I think that's one avenue I'm looking at is either strikeouts or the earned runs for him. But he hasn't allowed runs. He really has just been so good. It's a crazy turnaround.
Are people in Philly worried about the Phillies? They're optimistic because of last year. Like what's the mood in terms of the Phillies?
I think up until that Twin series, they were one of the best teams. It's still, I mean, what are they? I think they're 40-62 the last 62 games, or whatever it is. So I just think that Twin series was really concerning because the offense just went completely blank. They just didn't do anything in the last two games. They're at what 18 innings without a run. That's a little concerning, but I think this would be a good game for them to kind of bounce back here.
Why would we fade Kikuchi?
I'm thinking the strikeout angle. I just think that depending on how many righties the Phillies send out, I just think 6.5 is a little up there.
They're probably sitting Bryson Stott again. He can't hit lefties. So they're
so that's the thing is I want to say that I think one of the frustrating things in the MLB, if you're betting pitcher props, is you want to wait for the umpire assignment and the lineups, but sometimes doing that you have to accept you're just going to lose some lines because sometimes by the time 6 hours later you just can't even play anything.
Kyle Young says Ryan and Krusty are both on. That is Kikuchi. Okay, I just want to make sure you could say under 17.5 outs. Yeah.
Do you remember on Hard Knocks when the Jets defensive lineman was trying to say charcuterie board and he said charcuterie board?
Was that this week? Was that last week?
That was the first episode. It was the first episode.
I don't know if I remember that one.
Dude, Solomon Hill, he went to Stanford, the defensive end. He's like this, he's the dude on the defensive line who's like all buttoned up and like like Broadway plays, and he's giving them shit like, I don't be bringing y'all to Broadway plays because y'all gonna be asking me all these questions. And He's like, this guy's all fancy. He goes out to the restaurants and orders these charcuterie boards.
He was close.
Yeah, my camera just that helps everybody out here.
I think I want to take Baltimore on the money line.
Pods.
Yeah, Waka versus Flaherty.
Yeah,
I just think plus money. It's we got good value sitting there.
Padres just keep getting respect, like minus 140.
Yeah, like what the hell?
What business they be minus 140 against these good teams?
They're probably people are still like, well, Flaherty still sucks. He had two really good starts for Baltimore. So I don't know if you believe he's kind of back, but like, yeah, I love that.
It's just like, I don't trust the Padres whatsoever. Like when I see, like, there's no offense to other cappers. I know they have their methods, but there's a lot of cappers who consistently bet on the Padres, and I'm like, at what point are you gonna realize like you can't trust this team? Like, if they're like consistently in your rotation of teams you bet on, like you're going to continuously get hurt.
Baltimore has the best record on the road as well, tied with Atlanta, 38-22. When they are away dogs, they're even better. They're nice with it.
Brian just said everything just broke for me. Can Brian not hear us?
I can just see him moving his lips. But
I paid Sam to mute him.
He needs a vacation. That's what he needs.
Yeah, he does.
Days off, relax. He's been working too hard. The Kawhi Leonard of GoldBoys plays once a month.
I think it's good now that my camera.
I can hear him.
Everything just gave me a message saying that my camera and audio is out on. What is it?
Should we let Brian talk about James Harden for a minute, or just
sound great? Yeah. Well, with the Harden.
Oh
thing,
yeah.
We're gonna get into that yesterday. What's the sense of Philly in terms of that? Because I don't know. I haven't read up, on it. My take is that like last summer, Harden took less money with a handshake deal. Hey, Morey, we'll take care of you next summer. And now Morey's not taking care of him, going back on his deal. And that's why Harden's mad. Is that, just give me your thoughts and where you're at with it.
So I'll say this. at least the people I talk to in terms of like actual Phillies fans, I think most people are just kind of done with Harden. And I think my thing is, I think we talked about it so often in the show. It's so frustrating that the NBA climate now, you can kind of just say one or two things to the publicly and just, have a contract and say, oh, I'm not playing X, Y, Z, and just destroy your team's future in a way, because no one's going to trade anything for James Harden when he openly comes out and says, I'm not playing for Philadelphia. Who's going to offer you a Paul George when it's either he's sitting out or that's it? Like he's not going to play for you anymore. So why even offer anything? So I think it's one of those things where he opted into the contract, and I know he could be upset one way or the other, but when you opt in for a contract in free agency, I mean, you're still contractually obligated to play for that team.
But what is the root of his anger?
It has to be what you just said, the handshake deal for the more money. But that was also before he said he wanted to be a Clipper. So I think that all factors into things where if you want out, the trade market wasn't there for you. You kind of have to just, I don't know, take your $36 million and be half okay with it.
He's not going to, and he wins these staring contests. We talked about that yesterday. Like, he's undefeated, so he's going to get what he wants.
This is a little bit. This is when he was a little better. Now he doesn't really have the leverage. And I don't think if he doesn't play this year, they can block his free agency next year. I think the contract is pretty favorable to the team. I really don't know how it plays out. I think the big story here, because to me, Harden's not a top player on a championship team. The story is, all right, now what does Embiid think? Because Embiid's going to be in a situation where he's got to do it by himself again. He just went through this with Simmons a couple of years ago. He's running out of time. We mentioned yesterday he's got his little fake MVP trophy. What does Embiid want to do?
He probably wants to go play for Orlando.
Yeah. I love how Brad's was like, he probably wants to go to like the Magic, right?
You know, the team that he's most linked to right now is the Knicks.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think there's a team out there that will, reject if he wanted to jump ship. And at this point, I've been a fan. I had tickets when they were $10 per ticket for season tickets at the process years. I had right there. I'm just over it. Like, there's only so many times a franchise can say, "Oh, we're rebuilding." Oh, the process does. I mean, it's been 7 years.
Well, I don't know, but this isn't Sam. This is not Presti. This is Daryl Morey. Daryl Morey doesn't do draft picks. He doesn't do prospects. He does.
I think he does if he doesn't have the stars. But once he has the stars, I think he goes for it.
And the stars he picked were James Harden, who I was.
He left Houston, and that.
Well, they fired him, right?
He was fired, but it was also like coinciding with James Harden being like, "I'm out too," like that season. So like he's got other things going on too, but yeah, I don't know, man. If it's gonna be different. It's gonna look very different in Philly in like the next 2 years. It's gonna be crazy.
Go ahead.
Usually, when you're an aging star, or I would even say when you're aging superstar in this league, I think a lot of times you see management do the best they can to build around you for now while you have a window. Joel Embiid's the last 3 years. I mean, once Butler left, there just hasn't been this urgency of, oh, we need to do it now. It's just a matter of, oh, this failed, let's restart again. And that only works maybe once. Usually that goes once. After 3 or 4 times, it just gets really frustrating. And there goes Brad's little tantrum. See, I told you.
Brad okay? Brad having a seizure?
He's happy. That's happy, Brad.
Before we bounce, I just want to quickly talk about what was it? Oh, NFL. Anybody have any interesting take on Cook signing with the Jets? Elliott signing with the Patriots. It's weird. It's gonna be weird to see him in that Patriot uniform, but
it's gonna be so weird.
I don't know. Anybody have any takes?
I think people are kind of underplaying Cook going to the Jets, because like people are saying that's not a big help for them. They don't need Cook to be the superstar. Like, that's the problem, is people think they want Cook to be a superstar. They just want Cook to be in there, run, and allow Breece Hall to work his way back into the team.
Right.
If you have a Cook at 75% of what we know Cook can do in the playoffs, that makes them even more dangerous.
So more on the Jets?
Yeah, I mean, I'm usually a fan of these older backs, but I think Cook can give him something. They paid him a lot of money, but I mean, look, I think he'll help him. I don't think he's as good as he was, I don't know, 3-4 years ago. I used to love Cook, but I don't know. The Jets defense looked great the other day. Offense could use a little work. Man, they were killing Bryce Young. I don't know if you guys watched the preseason game. Bryce Young got slaughtered. So the Jets.
Bryce Young is gonna die this year. That offensive line is awful.
That was Panthers starters
yards
versus Jets backups too, like
Yeah.
third stringers.
Like those, their offensive line is going to kill that man.
Especially at his size. I would play he's under yards. I know you got to tie up money for a while, but man, how is that kid going to survive the whole season healthy?
I couldn't, and I bet you CJ Stroud watching that was like, wow, thank God I didn't go to Carolina.
He looked bad too, though, and
he looks bad, but like not like I'm not talking about like a better destination in terms of like pieces and weapons. I'm just talking about he'll be better protected probably. Like, I just couldn't get over like how bad that offensive line looked. That scared me.
Whipped.
Did we talk about unders for them in our? I think we broke down the Panthers together. Or maybe we didn't. I can't remember. But we were talking about the Panthers, or we were talking about like the Bucks, Brad, and then we touched on the Panthers. I feel like we were fading them already, but now it's like
that team is not going to be good, which is sad. My thing is back to Cook. In my dynasty league, I have Madison and Cook, and I really wanted Cook to go somewhere where he could be the star. So I lost all my value on Dalvin Cook stock in that league, but I do think it's a good signing though. I think it's one of those things where, Breece Hall is all of a sudden activated after yesterday, where I think it kind of helps create a good competition there. Where up until yesterday, it was today, it was reinstated, right? I believe for Hall.
Yes.
It gets some urgency in the backfield because I feel like they have Breece Hall who's coming off the injury, but now they have some insurance, so that team should be a lot better. In my opinion.
The only thing that I was kind of like, oh, that sucks, is like Dalvin Cook's still not cleared to play yet from his surgery. So I wonder if they're just gonna like ease him in. Use him.
Think about it.
Yeah, I wonder if they're gonna like use him like more like towards their Super Bowl run, kind of like the Bucks did with Gronk, where they're just like kind of like we don't really care what Gronk does until
they get
ready to go after. Yeah, pace him.
Yep. All right, boys. Anything else? We're gonna just try to fade.
I have a sleeper.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. Ask your question, Josh.
I was just asking if anybody cared about Zeke on the Pats, but
Not really.
No.
Okay.
No, doesn't move the needle for me.
What's he going to be, a league average back?
There is a part.
He's going to score touchdowns.
He's going to play
when they're in the red zone. Yeah. Like he's just going to be their red zone player.
You talk about it where it's a matter of doesn't really move the needle, but then you look at the contract. $6 million is not a light contract for So I'm very interested to see how often they use him because that's not.
I think they're going to use him all the time in the red zone. He was sixth in the NFL in touchdown percentage in the red zone.
He's going to be one of those guys that's going to be minus 120 and minus 140
I think
every single week, and you just got to hope it's from the 1 yard line if you're betting on him.
Dallas used him at center that last playoff game. Maybe New England will try him at center.
It's his last. It's so fun.
If I can get Zeke anytime touchdown at like anything plus money, then I'll take it until it goes away.
Yeah, just like Jamal Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how much is that Patriots offense going to score, though? That's the concern. I mean, that might
be. You're not going to get lucky. You're not going to get lucky with a big run. It's going to be inside the 5.
Yeah.
What's your sleeper play, Brad?
All right. Yeah. So I did a little light one for $10 with Kendricks over 3.5 Ks. I mean, this White Sox team strikes out so much. Kendricks doesn't have the nastiest stuff, but he's been hitting this number enough for me to take it. Ashcraft over 17.5 pitching outs. He's looked good. Number suggests I like that. I talked about Olsen already, but I went total bases over 1.5. Then I took Altuve over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Good bounce back spot for him.
Sounds like a winner.
Yeah, I've been doing pretty well with Sleeper. So Sleeper has now officially been getting mad at me, and now they're making me wait to cash out. Like I have to wait for the bet to settle. Like multiple days. They probably changed their policy. Like I didn't pay attention, but like before I would hit something and then I'd cash the profits out the same day. And now it's like I have to wait like 3 days for it to clear, but whatever. Who cares?
All right. Well, thank you to Sleeper. Thank you to Pickett, Hall of Fame bets. We'll be back tomorrow, 1:00 Eastern, talking a little more of the same baseball, NFL, college is right around the corner. Everything's right around the corner. So we'll have plenty to do tomorrow. Josh, Brad, Brian, get some rest. And it was a tough day for you, a long day. So until then, good luck with all your